Hi, it's Warren Huart here. Hope you're doing marvelously well. I'm with the wonderful Steve Cook. How are you, mate?
I'm awesome. How about yourself?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
Welcome.
Well,
Welcome to my home.
Thank you.
Welcome to the inner sanctum.
What is? People hate this, but for the first time I ever came to Nashville, somebody called it Nash Vegas. That was actually from Nashville.
It's because there's that whole showman kind of mentality to
Yeah.
it sometimes, but I call it Nash Tucky.
Nash Tucky.
Because of the redneck factor. Nashville is becoming something amazing in a very short period of time. There's a lot of people moving here. Sadly, there are a lot of old buildings being torn down.
Oh,
New
there are?
buildings, yeah, that's a whole other discussion. But at the same time, it still maintains some of its charm, its southern charm. I live in an area that has deer and turkey running around.
Sure.
I see them every morning, out here.
So you never
And
shortage of food?
Yeah, and that's why the shotgun hangs over the mantle, and I send my wife out after we churn butter, and and then we go get our victuals, and then we put barbecue sauce on it.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
So Nash Vegas is a good. It's one of those things.
I went to a glitzy wedding. That's what it was. I went to a glitzy wedding here.
I'm sorry.
And no, it was fun. It was fun. I mean, we've been here just a couple of days, and obviously this is during summer NAMM.
Right.
And all I found, to be honest, is everybody to be very polite and very helpful.
It does have that southern charm. It's got everybody is really helpful. I will tell a quick story. It's been widely publicized online. Jim Carrey was driving through,
didn't
and
know this.
his car caught a flat, and so
Yeah.
he was on the side of the road. Somebody pulled up. Hey, you need any help? Okay, cool. Helped him with his flat. Had no idea who he was. Another car pulled up. You guys okay? We're just fixing a flat. Cool. Whatever. Well, halfway through fixing, they realized it was Jim Carrey. Didn't care. Another person drives by. Hey, you guys all right over there? Everything's cool. And Jim Carrey's like, this never happens in Los Angeles. I mean, they're going to steal my wheels before anything else. And so he was so enamored with that, he actually is rumored to be buying a place here.
Right.
Just because of the southern charm. And that's, we had the flood in 2010. And
I remember that.
huge flood. A lot of people lost a lot of stuff. I had some damage. A lot of people, everybody was affected some way, somehow. Everybody stepped up and helped everybody else. You would
Great.
see, millionaire musicians in the less fortunate areas hauling furniture out of people's homes, and there were just so many things that were happening that were really good during that time. So that's one of the things we pride ourselves on. I'm not a native. My son is a native now, but I've been here for 12, 13 years now. So
Where are you from originally?
Virginia Beach, Virginia. Grew up there.
I know
and,
Virginia Beach.
Yeah. Great place to be from.
Was your dad in the forces?
He was. He
Yep.
was a second seater in F4s.
Wow.
F4 Phantoms.
That's really cool.
Was in Vietnam, and then did some stuff with NATO. Spent a lot of time in the UK. And
I'm obsessed with aviation.
Yeah.
My studio's called Spitfire, and after the plane, my publishing company's called Spitfire. I love
You
it.
have no idea who you're talking to right now. Yeah,
We could go off onto a 5-hour conversation.
So I tour for a living. I mean, I'm on
Yeah.
the road a lot. Every chance I get, I'm at a World War II or aviation museum. And I have seen...
I'm a member of 3.
Are you really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I know Tom Hamilton, another obviously great bass player. His dad flew P-40s
Wow.
in the Pacific.
Wow.
So I took him. He drove for nearly 2 hours to Plains of Fame in Chino.
Love Plains of Fame.
Yeah.
Just a
It's great museum.
Yeah.
Took him there, and he was like teary-eyed because there was 2 P-40s there at the time. And there's one with the Flying Tigers colours as well from the Pacific. Yeah,
cool.
I love all that stuff. My son, just from the earliest moment, went there, and so he knows more than I do because I tell him something and he remembers. And I'm at that stage, over 40 now. Everything's like, what?
Write it down.
I remember him being 3, and I'm taking him about 6 years ago to the air show, and it was about 6 years ago. It was all Navy planes. So there's Hellcats and Wildcats, which if you separate them and look at them, you don't know which one's which. You can tell there's subtle differences, but one's a lot bigger than the other.
Right.
And I look up in the air, and there's 6 of them, of just Hellcats. So I say to him, "Hey, look, Charlie, there's 6 Wildcats," and he's 3. And he looks at me and goes, "Daddy, those aren't Hellcats, those are Wildcats." At 3.
Good work.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it's great. I mean, I love all that stuff. I mean, it's all part of the cars thing as well, because it's just basically in those days they were just huge car engines, pretty much.
And if you go back further to World War I, you're talking about canvas and talking about plywood, and you're flying a lawnmower.
Sure.
you know, into enemy territory. You got your one bomb and you'll drop it off the side, and you know. But I soak the World War II history, and
Sure.
definitely the Greatest Generation, without a doubt.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the things that they had to do on both sides. You know, the Germans and the Japanese are doing it because they had to, because they were told to. You know,
Yeah.
and the U.S. We're sort of defending ourselves, not to get into ideology or anything, but
Yeah.
they were people too. You know, to an extent. You
Yeah.
know, they really.
Sure.
And the reason I say that is because at the Military Aviation Museum in Virginia Beach, which is the largest flying private collection, I mean, they've got a PBY, a B-25, B-17, they've got the P-40, they've got a 51. It just goes on and on and on. And this guy, he's just a nut. He just keeps buying and keeps buying. But he has former German pilots come on special days.
Sure.
And so
They do their planes for fame as well.
you get to hear their side of the story, and it's like,
Sure.
you know, we're all just people. You
Yeah,
know?
absolutely.
We're all just people.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's wonderful. I don't mind.
Sorry.
I'm famous for my tangents, and I'm glad to see that
we're on one.
We're at one. No, that's good. Look, I mean, there's one thing a lot with musicians. I've been blessed to meet and hang out with Jeff Beck, Joe Perry, Eddie Van Halen, and all of those guitar players. They're all into cars, but they're not just into cars like buy them. They're all into cars and they tinker. Yeah. There's something like Danny Gatton and Roy Buchanan were both car guys as well.
Brian Setzer.
Yeah,
huge car guy.
all car guys,
Yeah.
but not buying cars, like pulling them apart, rebuilding them, checking them out. There's something about a musician brain that loves that kind of thing.
We have to keep our hands busy.
Yeah.
We do. And if I had a plane, I would probably be tinkering on that
Yeah.
as well. You know.
Sounds good. So, so you came from? How did you get from Virginia Beach to Nashville?
A 1983 Honda Civic. That was it was blue. Front end was crushed. It was terrible. No,
Yeah.
I went to college in Mississippi,
Yeah.
the University of Southern Mississippi. I was in the marching band. I started in a school band way early, so I was playing violin to start. And my mom was a great musician. She still is a great musician. I'm half Italian, so that whole side of the family just, you know, they stomp grapes, they make pasta sauce, and they play music, and that's what they do. And they use their hands a lot, like I do. And so I went down there on a scholarship, and so I was in the marching band, and I was playing in the jazz band and such. And then after,
What instrument were you playing?
I was playing saxophone in marching band, and
Great.
I switched to sort of getting serious about electric bass. The jazz instructor down there he was like Yoda of jazz, and his Raul Jerome, Dr. Jerome. Sorry, I haven't turned out the way you wanted me to, but he, I tell you, he really put his foot down and showed me a lot of things. And I mean, this guy, he was a trombone player, but he's also an amazing bass player, and so he sort of took me under his wing and showed me a lot of things. And it was, I mean, every time I went to class, it was like getting slapped on the wrist, because it was like, you know, just a hardcore education of what I should be doing and shouldn't be doing. And,
Sure.
And but this is the kind of instructor who, like, we had the West Side Story charts from Buddy Rich. He actually, when I say from Buddy Rich, he actually had the charts. He gathered them up, went to a copy place in New York City, copied them, took them all back. So we actually had like Buddy's original charts, like in the library. You know, so we had. A unique sort of exposure to some of these jazz charts, and I can't
Imagine what Buddy Rich's charts would be like.
just a lot of cursing. That's all it was. A lot of curse words. But and I love the West Side Story. You know, Sweet is just a wonderful piece.
Right.
Anyhow, so after college, I had no idea what I was going to do with my life, as most of us do. I have a degree in marketing, and I've got a bass guitar and an amplifier. And so a friend of mine said, "Come to Nashville, and I can get you an internship at a record label." And I said, "Okay, great." So I ended up at MCA Records, and I was there for a year and a half. And it was after college. You're supposed to do your internships while you're in college.
Sure.
But there were a lot of us that were bartending or waiting tables and working at the label for free. In the eyes of the government, that's sort of slave labor. You're not
Right.
supposed to be working for free. And so somebody blew the whistle on a label. And when that happens, everybody cleans house. So MCA at the time had a dozen platinum artists, all the biggies, and then the marketing department was actually double what it was because of all the interns. And we were all working on projects. It wasn't like, and we all had desks and we all had things to do. And it's like, okay, when this record came out, guess what? My job was to promote it to, wherever. And so we all had, these marketing plans we were coming up with. It was pretty cool. And then that all went away. And so I'm kind of like, well, what do I do now?
Did you intern there for a year and a half?
Year and a half. And,
wow.
and then at the end, because you hope that you're going to get a job there eventually, which is why you intern there.
I mean, I have interns, but they usually do or don't get hired after a few months, not a year and a half.
Right, and they would have kept us on
pushing
for
it.
5 years as free labor.
wow.
So that was why they liked so many interns, because it was not costing them a thing.
Right.
So during one of the promotions for the records, we were promoting it to the minor league baseball parks around the country, and I sort of went, I like baseball, and I think it's a cool thing. And,
I've seen all your
yeah, I did, of course.
your memorabilia out there,
right?
yeah.
So I actually lined up work for 2 seasons I did a paid internship in Norfolk, Virginia, and then after that I had a job lined up in West Palm Beach with a ball club down there, and I was getting ready to go be in baseball, and that was in 1995. So here we are 21 years later, and I'm not in baseball. My friends from college kept calling me to come back and join their band, and I was like, no guys, I'm working, I'm in Nashville, I'm going to try and get a job here and do this. No, come on, we need you to come back. You said, not going to happen. Begging. This is the last time we're going to ask. All right, well, I went back and saw that they had like 1,200 kids packed into a club.
Nice.
In a town of 30,000 people, college town, but I was like, okay, we can do this. Baseball will always be there. Let's go ahead and do that.
Right.
So for the next, 7 years, we did 200 plus shows a year, and we played at Woodstock 99. We recorded by every record label. We went up to New York City and did all these showcases for heads of labels, and nothing happened. It was one of those things that nobody knew what to do with us. We didn't know what to do with us, and
Right.
so we effectively, split. And then I was with a hard rock band based out of Los Angeles, back and forth. And
What was the LA band?
they were called Course of Nature. They were on Atlantic, or Lava, and the lead singer, Mark's married to Melissa Joan Hart. And actually, you're going to speak with Jackson Epley, who replaced me in that band.
I see.
Which is actually funny, because no matter what happens in life, it is just the stepping stone to the next chapter of your life.
Sure.
So I was let go from that band, and we were supposed to be going to Vancouver, recording a record. The next call was going to be like flight information. Next call I got was, hey, you're out of the band. I was like, okay. And there were other personal things happening at the time with my girlfriend and my living situation and all that, and so basically she kicked me out, and so
You're no longer a rock star.
so,
Be gone.
yeah, so there was no job, there was no house, and there was no girlfriend. So what do you do when you have no gig? You call everybody and say, hey, I'm looking for work. And one of my best friends called me and said, hey, I'm with an indie artist in Nashville, do you want to come up and check it out? And so I arrived in town with a gig, which I think helps. Actually, I know it helps, rather than come here and trying to find something and find my way. Now, when you have a gig, when you get here, it's cool, but you're also in a bubble, because after that gig ended after 9 months, then you kind of say, hey, what now?
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing too. And so after that, I was waiting tables, and I waited tables and bartended at one of the best clubs in town called Third and Lindsley. And I did that because A, it's better money than working somewhere else, but like Home Depot or something. But B, I got to see 3 bands a night, and I got to see superstar headliners to indie acts, to songwriters, to every genre you can imagine came through there. And
Right.
there's live music 7 nights a week. And so I never asked for business cards. I never, said, hey, I'm looking for this or that. I just talked to people just like this.
Sure.
And I still have somewhere a stack of cards that people give me. Hey, if you need anything. And I have friends to this day that I met then, and
Sure.
and that's actually how I got my first road gig. One of the drummer came in and said, "Do you want to go on the road?" It was that simple. I said, "Absolutely." And so, yeah, get me out of here. That'd be great. But I mean,
Right.
again, I saw amazing acts, and I got to just sit
Fantastic.
and soak in, and then I would actually sit in sometimes, which was fantastic.
Great.
But one of the humbling moments is I was leaning over a table of Vandy kids, Vanderbilt, and somebody said, hey, do you guys remember that band? King Kong, my old band. And I was standing above them, I'm waiting on this kid who's talking about my old band. I was like, maybe I should really rethink some things. But it all keeps you humble, and it's all good. So I've been on the road for 10, 11. I mean, I've essentially been on the road for 20 years. Except for that little, and even while I was bartending, I was still out. I'd go out and do singer-songwriter things. So anyhow, that's how I ended up. I know it's like you just want to fast forward, click.
No,
click,
it's
click.
good.
But that's how I ended up here. And
No, it's good.
my story is no different than anybody else. I mean, really, it's
Yeah, but that's good because you know, it's what does it say? There's so many different stereotypes of like, you know, success and stuff. But I've yet to meet somebody. They can say the word big break if they want, but there's no such thing.
No, I mean, Dierks Bentley played on Lower Broadway for 10 years.
Yeah.
Before he was Dierks Bentley.
Yeah.
You know, or you've got, you know, I think it was 10 years. Maybe that's just what his publicist said. But no.
Maybe it was 15. They wanted to be 5 years younger.
Exactly.
You know, you don't know. I mean, the point is most people slug it out.
Yeah.
The Beatles, you know, did 12, 15-hour shifts playing music.
Can you imagine
in
playing
Hamburg
that long
for
now?
months at a time?
Can you imagine?
With no days off. Yeah,
I
crazy.
can't. I mean, my fingers would just fall off.
Yeah.
You know?
But, you know, I know Malcolm Gladwell says it in Outliers. He says that the Beatles played more shows before they got signed than U2 have done in their whole career.
Wow. Soak on that for a second. Just let that. I mean,
So regardless of, and the thing is they were doing covers of like Burt Bacharach and how, you know, like incredible songwriters, like 50s and early 60s, incredible songwriters. So they were learning, you know, stuff that we take for granted. You know, hey, let's make the 3-chord dominant 7.
right.
Let's, you know, little trick stuff now that you and I hear all the time.
Sure.
You know, or 6-dom, you know, 6 dominant 7 or something, just to twist things up.
Right.
They were soaking up all of these different chord progressions. Where if you're working in isolation and you're not working on great songs, everything's 1-4-5, 1-4-5, or 6-4,
Sure.
1-5, which
Right.
is half the songs on the radio.
That's right.
But so they had this education, you know, from doing that. So what you're talking about is the education. It's the hard knocks. It's the humbling thing. For me, I've never talked about this, but you're making me think about it. For me, I was in a band. I had several record deals. Went record deal. And the last one was in America. I had a record deal with this band, and I went on the road for 3 months. And when I got off the road, the phone wasn't ringing, and I couldn't get any work. I was playing with loads of artists, playing guitar. I was doing demos for people or whatever, all this kind of stuff. And this is like 99, 2000. And it was just like starting again. Everybody who had hired me to play guitar for them now had found somebody else who'd been in the band for 3 weeks, 3 months, sorry. So I couldn't pay the rent. So I had a drummer friend of mine, and he had a roofing business. And his roofing business was putting alloy flat roofs on, and this is the height of summer, on public storage buildings. So for 3 months in the middle of the summer, and I'm like this pale English, freckly, Irish as well, skin, burns easily guy. So for 3 months I was like, and it was $7.50 an hour.
And the first day of work, you're kind of thinking,
I was leaving the house at 4 a.m.
I need to focus on, you know, something else.
So and I ripped my hand up. I still got a bad scar from a piece of metal that almost like basically took half my hand off. And I remember just being like, you know what, I need to change, because I was sort of living that stupid rock star thing. I was get another record deal.
Sure.
And you get the record deal, and it seems glamorous, but you know, you'd end up after expenses with $100,000 that you were splitting between 4 people. So you all had $20,000 to live on for pretty much 2 years, because you go on the road and do it. You know, so you get the $20,000 yet, you put it in the bank, and you're like, yes! And then you're 3 months into it, and it's at 15, 14, 12, 10, and you're like, realize, I've got no money.
Right.
And so I got back off the road in like 99, 2000. I'd always had studios, I'd always done demos, I'd always done everything I possibly could, and I just put it into overdrive. I was like, I'm not roofing again.
And overdrive is a good word. There are so many people I see that don't know what that word means. And I'm not trying to, jump on anybody. And we all relax. You know, we all sort of, just sort of take a step back, and we maybe don't hit it as hard as we could sometimes. But
It's been a while, but I know what you mean.
You know what I mean, though. There are people that, and
I
so,
understand.
and actually, a songwriter told me last night. I said, "What are you up to?" She says, "Well, I'm writing songs with my partner." I said, "That's great." She goes, "We've been writing for about 6 months." I said, "That's great." She goes, "Well, we want more songs and pictures." And she's, because right now, hey, I'm on Instagram, or I'm posting pictures. I'm not really working. I'm just, sort of, it's this shell, this fluff. But I equate it to, like, we have children. You have two. I have one, and one on the way. We get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Why? Because we have to change a diaper or feed a baby. That motivation, is hard, but we do it because we have to.
Sure.
well, why aren't we doing the same thing, when we're working on music? And I find so many people that don't. I'm going to sleep till noon, I'm going to work for a little bit, and I'm going to go to sleep, It's like, man, this is it. This is our time. This is what we have to do, This is, so we need something done. We need tracks done. We need this done. We need this. I'm sorry, the sleep's going to wait, because this has to be done, because you don't get a do-over. You don't get life do-over. You don't get, don't get to start again. So overdrive, that's what, but you have to take your vacations and relax a little bit, fly your airplanes, and but
every now and then,
every now and then,
a few hours here and there.
Sure.
So let's talk about your setup.
All right. Well, I am in. These are all my pictures. These are my kids. No, we're in Studio One Pro, which I have found. Like Nashville is one of those towns where it's like, are you in Pro Tools or Logic? And I'm neither. I'm in Studio One Pro. I went to. They had an open house at RCA Studio A, and I went over there just to kind of check it out and see what was going on, and I was floored. I was absolutely floored. And so PreSonus is awesome. I've been using their Fire Studio project, and so right now I'm just 8 in, but I've got the capability. I've got another one at my drummer friend's house, so I can get 16 if I need. But we do it all right here. So my setup is not unlike a lot of setups in Nashville. But I took the approach. I'm using Studio One, and we're here in this compact area. But you look around, and I've got a drum kit over here, and
that's crazy.
We play. I mean, what we did for these tracks, we did it right here. This Questlove kit, tuned up, great, sounds nice. 4 mics, actually 5 mics.
That's a Questlove kit?
Yeah, and Breakbeats kit.
Oh yeah.
So it's I think it's $300.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Is it made in America?
I don't think so. But I had a phenomenal drummer come over here, and just to be able to sit right here and do it and orchestrate it.
Does it come with the snare?
It does. It comes with the snare, and it comes with the 4 pieces. And
wow, that's awesome. For $300, really?
Yep. Yeah, and Questlove designed it so you can break it down into bags and put it on the subway and go to gigs. It also has, the bags also serve as dampeners, so you can put them on top and practice quietly in your little New York City studio apartment.
That's so good.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know about that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing. So
I'm going to put a link to that below the video. So this, you were just telling me about, is the Audio-Technica, is this a drum mic package?
It's not a drum mic package, but what we did is we kind of looked over our needs and our wants.
Sure.
And so I wanted to put together a package for about $1,000.
Right.
And I could have spent more, but I want to get in here and show, okay, if you have $1,000, what can I buy that sounds amazing that I can use on multiple things?
Right.
So we've got basically the, dare I say 58, but this is the all-purpose 650, which we use snare and hi-hat. This is the 250, and the 250 is for kick drum, for bass guitar. Right. And so that's what we used on the B18 when we did this track. And then the 4040s, which we use for overheads.
Those
and then
are good
also,
mics.
Great mics. And then we also use for guitar, and we also use for vocals.
Oh, wow.
So the vocal track you hear is a 4040.
Wow,
so you're going to hear a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, these are great. These are really, really good. So this is made in Japan. The whole thing's $1,000.
Yeah. So you can. So if you just need, hey, this is my budget, and I want to start here. And drummers, okay, so we have 300 in the kit and 1,000 in the mics.
Yeah.
But you're going to be able to get great sounds.
That's great.
Just with this. I mean, don't overthink it. I think is really what it's all about. They did a lot of stuff with 2 mics back in the day, 3 mics back in the day, and
it was standard in England for me to use 4 mics on a drum kit, and we never used a hi-hat mic. The hi-hat was always bleeding out of the snare.
And on some of these tracks, as you mix and listen to them, you're going to find maybe just using the overheads, because these were so great. And so there's, again, a nice little mic package, $1,000 and you're in.
That's great. Thanks.
Yeah. So we're in Studio One Pro. Well,
tell me a little bit about this Fire Studio project. So that is 8 mic pre's?
8 mic pre's. You can go into more in the back. Class A mic pre's. Sounds really, really good.
Is that also the control for your speakers, etc.? Is that kind of an all-in-one box?
Yes. So I don't have headphone mixers and stuff. When we're in here tracking, it's me sitting here. I know the songs. I know what's going on.
Right.
I can tell. If somebody needs cans, we could do that. Actually, for these tracks, we did vocals right where that light is set up, because it's a
Fantastic.
natural booth. And then
So
we had a couple more mics. The bathroom is right behind it. Put a mic in there, let it go natural.
No, this
you
is
know,
great.
and that's and it's necessity is the mother of invention.
I say it all the time.
Because yes, I can spend the money and go to a big studio. I've got great session player friends. We can have great studio friends. Whatever, we can do all that. But
How much is that Fire Studio?
I think new is $399, and you can get it on a reverb for probably $250. I think.
That's so cool.
And so you're in, and you can even, and they make the 2-channel version if you don't need it all. But of course, if you're doing drums, you're going to need a couple more.
Great. And then these rockets, I see quite a lot of people using them.
Yep. I don't have a sub in here, but I don't need it. I don't think
Right.
they sound great. They've served me very well for a number of years. I've had them for probably 8 years now, and I go ahead.
The Hellbook.
Okay, so this is a bass preamp, and
Yep.
I've got these are my secrets. So,
No, that's
but this is essentially an SSL strip, channel strip. Is
Oh, it
what
is?
he put into a bass preamp, and
Oh,
it's
wow.
a super clean, super wonderful, and well lit piece of gear. It's really, really nice.
So it's made by Warwick.
It is made by Warwick. Jonas Hellborg, phenomenal bass player.
Sure.
That's
Yeah,
my
he
sign
is.
language for bass player.
Yeah.
If you didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is.
And what's that sitting here?
Okay, this is Jack from Noble is going to kill me because he can't make these fast enough. and I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Jack, but this is
I love this stuff.
This is what we call the business. This is okay. So last year, I was looking for a new bass.
It's a
pre.
toroidal transformer on the outside.
Yeah. I was looking for a new bass pre, and so I reached out to this guy because I found him on the internet, and I said, are you on to Winter NAMM? And he said, sure. He didn't have a booth. He brought this. He was wearing this around his neck, and it was
for
actually
him.
this
Can I see
model. Yeah, of course. And so this is version 1.
Yeah.
Version 2 now has the tubes inside. It never leaves. Well, I say never leaves here. I put it on my studio board when I go other places. But what's interesting about it is it also powers 3 pedals. So you can slap your tuner, your compressor on there, whatever, and go. But this is the secret weapon. This is I've sent off internet tracks, and no compression, no nothing. I'll let them take care of that. I just send this, and they are floored. And I told you I work with Phil Vassar. We've got a new record coming out later on this year, and I did all the tracking with just this.
Just this, no amp?
Just that, no amp,
Wow.
just that.
Do you know what these go for?
Roughly 900, I believe.
Right.
But again, I mean, it's back there in the back. Now for these recordings, I actually used the Ampeg. I've got a 65 B18 back here.
Oh, beautiful.
I'm sorry about the, we can get some B-roll on that if you want. But anyhow, so we've got the B18 back here, and we put it in the closet behind you for a little ISO, and then I run the Noble as well. So
That's beautiful.
thank you. So some of my go-tos.
What are you making the B18 with?
On that, I used, I believe, oh my gosh, I think you're going to ask me, and I forget.
What are your options? What have you
I
done?
got to look in the mic. I got to look in the mic locker. I've got.
Okay.
I'm terrible because I don't remember. You guys know all the numbers of every piece of gear ever.
That's
put
all right.
Out, the
When we do the main one,
we'll totally
make
pull it
sure
out.
we'll go.
Totally pull it out.
So let's have a look around. Oh, what is this?
That's just a stock Mexican Strat. We Seymour Duncan sent these beautiful.
When Scott was there?
Called Everything pickups. No, it was after Scott, but this is a super shimmery clean Strat, or it can be dirty, or it's called the Everything Axe set of pickups. So
That's beautiful.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And what I've been using on a lot of stuff is this guy. I have an 83 jazz bass with the same finish. And I bought an 83 P bass only because it matched. And these aren't, well, at the time I didn't think they were extremely desirable, and I really didn't super care for it. I just wanted a matching one for my other one.
Yeah.
And then I plugged it in. And this is now my go-to P bass.
I've
got a 78 down there. I've got, this is a 68 down here. But man, this thing sings more than any of those guys. And for
that's an 83?
It's an 83. And I don't know, and I think it's one of the Fullerton basses they were doing.
Sure.
82, 83, 84, there were some Fullerton basses that are better than all the other ones. So
Nice.
this is my go-to baby for a lot of stuff. And
What
it
do
all
they go
depends.
for?
2, maybe, I think.
Really?
The Fullertons, I mean, it could be less, but that's in pretty darn nice shape.
It is.
So
Nice telly there.
Thank you, American Telly, and this is an Aria that I put some new Duncans in, and
I
so I
love
got
Arias.
a little 335 action,
I love Arias.
vintage frameless
Frameless.
Starbase for some thud.
Oops, sorry.
That's all right.
Demolishing everything,
That's
breaking
it.
everything
It
apart.
happens, It happens.
Come here.
Sure.
Nice.
Just nasty.
Yeah, it's great.
Big. Little Bill Wyman for you.
The neck is so tiny.
I know, and it's like a 21 ply neck, behind it. It really is. If you could see all the
Oh yeah.
stratification there. And then this is another Aria, but I put the tape wounds on it, and
Right.
so get a little uprighty thing. This is a 68. Feel how heavy this thing is. It's not an original neck, but I think somebody filled this in with Bondo, like that you use on cars.
Oh, you can't remember.
But it's pretty big.
Wow.
MJ at Seymour wound me the exact same pickup the Sting has in his stage bass.
Excuse my foot, sorry.
That's all right.
Nice.
I was doing a session,
Yeah.
and it wasn't quite right, and I didn't have any foam or anything to put under the strings, so
Yeah.
the studio assistant brought me jumbo marshmallows, and I shoved them underneath this bridge, and it was perfect. And that's
Jumbo
So
marshmallows.
you talk about a new muting technique. It was jumbo marshmallows.
Back to our
Yeah. So back to food.
necessity is the mother,
Mother
of
of
invention.
invention.
Yep. And nice fretless Stingray there.
Thank you. This is my Pinot 92, I believe.
Nice.
I just had it replaned here in Nashville, and it's got that thing.
Yeah.
Every time you go away.
Ball,
Yeah.
da-da-da-da.
Yep. And
When
then
I was a kid, every bass player wanted to play that.
Ugh.
The ball.
right. This is a 71. It's a little dusty because I don't play her a ton, but she's all original, and
Beautiful.
she was found under a bed, and
Oh, wow.
I took it up to Groon Guitars, and they said it was one of the cleanest 71s they'd ever seen.
Wow.
So I've played on the Opry a few times, and I try to take a different bass to the Opry every time we do it. I'm not bragging on how many times I played the Opry, but it's because it's always humbling, always wonderful. But I try to, switch it up a little bit and have some fun. So
Nice.
yeah, 75P is the next one.
That was great.
This is hold on, I'm gonna put this guy back, and you notice. I mean, some of these guys have flats and some don't, but this has a.
Actually, quite a lot of flats. Did you get a lot of call for it?
It's I don't do a lot of the super modern
Sure.
stuff. I mean, you have to have your arsenal of your hot 5-string and all that. I've got all that, but I'm an old soul.
Sure.
And so if it was good enough for the old cats, it was good enough for me. And so
Love this matte finish here.
thank you. The pickups are prototypes from Seymour, and they are the Jamerson pickups, is what they call them. They have a sort of a bloom to them, and,
Nice.
and not a full-on compression thing, but just a kind of a moi. And so the
Yeah.
attack is a little bit different than the other basses.
Beautiful.
And then just some stock fun stuff. This is just a Squire with some upgraded pickups, just in case I needed just a little bit of a different tone.
Yeah.
I've got an active Warwick 4, which has my snap and my pop.
Right.
and,
Use that for slapping or whatever.
I don't slap on records. leave that to other kids. And then I've got a baritone,
Wow.
which is fun, and
Fender 6.
yeah, so
Wow.
that's a good time.
Glenn Campbell.
Sure.
Wichita Lineman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just change the strings on that, so it may be a little out, but
A little bit. That's
Yep.
gorgeous.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then I've got my Sex Pistols 78P bass. That's all right. You tear up that star bass, you're taking it home with you. So-
with a check.
That's all right. And then just a big old heavy baseball bat, 78 for when I want to play the now defunct CBGBs, you know. But
yeah, I was about to say, it reminds me like a Strangler's kind of like a.
I mean, I'm a huge.
Yeah, it's that kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
Awesome. Yeah, just bang it. It looks amazing.
I'm a huge Police fan, so you know I just go back to what he was using back then.
Well, I always remember Jean-Jacques Brunel from the Stranglers,
Uh-huh.
who's actually a really great bass player and a great songwriter, of course. It was like Bass Player magazine or something when I was a kid, and they said, "What kind of bass do you play?" And he goes, "A black one."
That's it.
That was just so
That's all you need.
punk rock. A black
That's
one.
all you need. I'll get you.
Yeah.
Go.
So worried about smashing everything.
That's all right.
And then another jazz bass up
Another
here.
jazz set. That's a 75 reissue. And I just rotate out who gets the position of honor, just depending on what's going on. Because I play live too. Obviously, I play a lot of live and in the studio, so I'm constantly kind of rotating what I'm taking and putting in the bag and taking to the sessions.
So when you're buying a new bass, how do you hide it from your wife? Ever delivered somewhere else?
You have.
And then you drive down and pick it up.
You know, maybe you should start a whole other tutorial on how to hide purchases from you.
I bought a couple of guitars recently, and super cheap. One was $400, one was $200. And the reason why I bought them was I wanted a Strat, but I didn't want to get a Strat. I don't play a Strat, but I wanted something with Strat pickups. So I found a used Pacifica. It was $200. And it's just like, and so I bought it, but the box arrived. My wife said, "What's that?" Bought a guitar, $200. Sure. Right. So like, really?
Yeah. I know. How many purses do you have?
No, I know.
How much were those shoes?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I've actually told myself, unless something crazy comes along, I'm not going to be purchasing. You know, we're always, I'm dare I say set. I mean, there are some things that I actually played at NAMM and I was like, but at the same time, I want for not. And I'm so fortunate in that respect. I mean, because when I came to town, I had just a couple of instruments. And of course, I was single when I started buying a bunch of stuff. But at the same time, now I look around and I can't believe, like when I come down here, I can't believe I'm here. And I'm just so ridiculously humbled to walk in and say, holy crap, I've got one of those and I can play it, for somebody else.
You pretty much everything covered.
Well, we haven't gone to the other wall yet.
Yeah.
And so.
But while we're here with this, so I love this little kit.
This kit is the Questlove Breakbeats kit.
It's really $300.
$300. You see how small this is? This is a 16. Down here we've got it loosened up.
Does it come with a kick pedal as well?
It does not.
Oh, okay.
But it comes with it's a 4-piece, and it comes with bags, so you can just bag this whole thing up, get in the cab, and go to the gig, or you can use them as muffles for on top. And tuned up. Actually, what they come with clear coat or clear heads. If you can put the coated heads on them, it sounds a whole lot better, and get it just tuned up nice, and it's a great sounding little kit. And my son loves it too because it's his size. So.
Great, that's awesome. This little Gibson amp, we used one of these on the second Frey record I did. They sound fantastic.
It's an old like harmonica, it's a harmonica amp basically is what you would use it for. But
instruments or mic.
Right, but this one's been hot rodded a little bit by a tech friend of mine, so it screams.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and it was a gift. It was a gift from a friend. He said, "Hey, do you want one of these?"
So tell me about this Eden amp.
It's just an older CXC combo amp, and this is. I mean, I'm a bass player by trade, so this is what I practice through.
Oh right. Great.
It's. I mean, I could fire up the B15 or B18 all day long, but
Sure.
So this just. So I'll just sit here and shed and work out parts. I don't track with that. Like I said, I track with this.
Right.
Because. There's no reason, to do anything else. But no, it's nothing extremely special. It is older, but it sounds phenomenal. So and it's heavy as all get out, so that's why it stays right there.
Nice.
So,
do you use this for guitars a lot?
I do, and my old house was built in '46 after the war. They disassembled the barracks at the airport and made my house. Which was pretty cool. So but we had the big original lead tub and tile and everything. So I like taking this and sticking it in the shower, and then triple micing it, and then you can just get some just 2 on and then 1.
Utilizing all the space of the house.
I'm trying.
It's great.
I'm trying again.
Okay. The only thing I was going to ask is, does this remote come with this fader port?
No, that's $100, I believe, and it's nice to have just a surface. I don't have the room per se for a mixer or console. So
Sure.
this is to have something under my fingers.
Great.
And it's fully automated, so once you just dial up the channel,
Yeah.
boom, 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 and it throws it in. So it's really nice to be able to touch something,
Sure.
because we sort of miss that as
Yeah,
we're
the
mousing
tactile,
through.
How do you? Is it easy to just scroll through? Which channel it's operating and. Oh, I see.
Right
And
now.
can you do it from there as well?
Yes.
So how do you? Do it
So if I'm,
oh, okay, cool. And then it just goes to that.
there goes that.
Great,
So you can
that's
see
perfect.
the fader's moving
That's perfect.
as we're.
That's
as
so
it's going through.
straightforward.
It really is, and again, the punches are easy, and everything's easy. It's all right there at your fingertips. So left hand has that, right hand has the mouse, and
That's great.
and you can do many things.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What if they make this work with Pro Tools?
Ooh.
I
You hear that, PreSonus?
I like that. I wonder.
Does it?
It
really?
does?
Oh, look at that.
Connor
Connor to the rescue for the win.
That's only $100.
Yeah, $100. It's nice to have the Surface. So,
The Telecaster looks beautiful.
are you a Tele fan?
I am a Tele fan. Seafoam green.
Okay, well, get ready for this one.
I'm going to pick up. Oh, the Charlie Watts. Charlie Watts has his own pick.
Yeah, and that's actually one of Charlie's picks.
It is.
Yeah.
What does he play?
I have no idea.
Wow, this is so light.
I was gonna say you're not ready for it. So this was a fun project. I traded for the body, and then this is an American neck, Duncan Antiquity pickups, and we did a 4-way instead of the 3, just for a little bit of extra oomph. And I love the fact that it weighs about 3 pounds.
So what is the 4-way? So you've got bridge. You've got.
Both, and then I believe one is tapped. And when
So is this a stacked humbucker or something?
you're asking the wrong guy.
Oh,
It's one louder. That's what I know.
it's one louder.
It's one louder. But if you flip the guitar over, you can see that they messed up. So I got this body because somebody tried to line this up and they did it the wrong way, and so I had my guy actually do it the right way. And I wanted this strung through the body, as a good Tele should be, and I wanted a seafoam green. So you can take this one and the
Wow.
Starbase home when you go.
Okay, great.
All right, good.
We got that on camera.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you. So it's fun.
I'll give you Charlie Watts pickup.
Okay, good.
Pick back.
Pick
Sorry.
back. All right, good.
There you go. It's down there. See, you got it on camera.
You got it. Okay, good. Yeah, that's going too.
And then the uke.
The uke is just for funsies, But something in the way she moves. We don't have the clearances for that, so we can't use
Yeah,
that. But anyway,
I don't know what you were doing.
But but yeah, it's fun, and it's fun on the bus too. Just having a uke. Of course, you piss everybody off when you're
On the
playing.
bus?
Yeah, just sitting there. in
Oh, the bus. I was
Sitting
like,
on the bus. No, not
when
on
you're
like
touring,
the,
yeah.
I
I was like thinking, yeah, he's just taking the bus into Nashville and picking up the uke.
I wouldn't be surprised. Actually, that's what the Tele's for.
And that's got that Tele's got the Gretsch pickups on it, which is nice.
Yeah.
Sonics.
Yep. And then this is an AK 1974 Framus.
That's beautiful looking.
It's a beast.
Let's see if I got
Of a
it.
guitar. Don't know if this one's in tune.
I'm always afraid to pick up your
But-
Charlie Watts pickup.
That's all right.
Pick again, but
Go ahead.
'cause
And it's aged nicely. This was a different shade of yellow a few years ago. Close. There she is.
it's gorgeous.
Thank you.
I really like this, and this is a 71.
Well, it's the model number's in 1974.
Oh.
Okay, but no, it's from like 01 or 03 or something like that.
Wow,
Yeah.
the way this is cut away here is insane.
Yeah.
So I'm up here just feeling like,
Like you're at home.
yeah. Where do they make these?
Germany.
They're made in Germany.
Yep.
Was it expensive?
It is an expensive guitar.
Yeah.
Honey, you didn't hear that.
But you got a deal.
That's right.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
It just feels comfortable just holding it like that.
Thank you.
And the question is, what is Charlie Watts doing with the pick?
You know what? I love my favorite story. Of course, it's told time and time again. Is that Mick is in the bar,
Yeah.
and he tells somebody, "Go upstairs and wake up my drummer."
Right.
And so they go and knock on Charlie's door, and Mick wants his drummer downstairs. So Charlie Watts puts on a suit,
Yeah.
goes down and punches Mick in the face in the bar and says, "You're my effing singer. I'm not your drummer."
Nice.
It's his band. And
Right.
and actually and a lot of people know this, but they get mad. Like if meet and greets, backstage, whatever,
Sure.
everybody gravitates towards the figureheads, towards Mick
Sure.
and Keith, but it's actually Charlie's band.
Right.
He's calling a lot of the shots.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, actually, and doing it just in a
Right.
beautiful silent sort of thing.
Well, I remember with the when the Fray first got big, I remember being backstage, and the band were just, all of them were just over. Everybody coming up, people would just come up and they would answer the question. Somebody would go, "Hey, I don't know where he is," because everybody was just like, "Where's Isaac? Where's Isaac?
Right.
Where's Isaac?" So after a while, people come up and as they were about to say something, "I have no idea where he is." "Oh, okay," and then walk away there going, "Wait, how did he know
wait
what
a
I was
minute."
going to say?"
The Fray played at 3rd and Lindsley, where I waited tables.
Right.
Back on their first,
Right.
coming through town, first time.
Sure.
It was
They're
5
great guys.
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud. I've got, three more stories. We'll start here. This is a Sandberg. This is actually my touring bass. One of my touring basses. Just a really well-made Fender. It's a German-made
Wow.
bass. A big old
Sandberg.
bucker in the back. Sandberg. And this is aged a lot.
California.
That's right. That's right. They can't call it, a jazz bass, so they call
Right.
it California. But great bass and a lot of fun. And
Active
and passive.
You got the
actually.
drop D on it.
Yep. A lot of my touring basses have that.
Drop D.
Because I'd prefer to play a 4-string
Yeah.
and then play the 5. Just my personal preference. Okay, 2 stories.
Yeah, the Hofner.
This is amazing. Hofner was gracious enough to send this to me, and I'm floored. Tom Peterson from Cheap Trick, who is a big Hofner guy, said, "Hey, guys, why don't you make a triple pickup club bass?" Because, again, one louder. And really, because people ask me all the time, what's the difference between the triple pickup and, well, I mean, it's spacing because, I think one of the club basses has the 2 up here, they don't have this 3rd one, or they've got 1 here and 1 here and nothing here. I just go full bore, all on, whatever, all the time. Mahogany body, it's light as can be, but
See, I like the idea of the 0 fret, then you don't get any different tonality between the open and the fretted.
Correct.
It's like, as opposed to like, boom, you know what I mean?
Right. There are only about 10 of these in this gold top, from what I was told. That was a few years
First
ago.
one
That
I've
could have
ever
changed. Actually, George Groon, who I've had the pleasure of talking to on a number of occasions, saw this and he didn't know what it was. So I was happy to have one up on George. And I use this on.
So light.
Thank you. It's something else. I use this on Phil's last record, or the next record that's coming out.
Although Paul plays it.
Right.
I can't.
While he's singing, so make
Yeah.
sure.
That's what I want to do. But he goes. I watched the live footage of him playing it, and he's playing it all 1 and 3 and moving around rather than playing it using his little finger.
Yeah.
And he's singing.
Yeah. That's why he gets the big bucks right there.
Yes.
So, last but not least, we were in a town bordering Canada, and we were up in Michigan somewhere, and we were renting a car. And our tour manager came on the bus, and he goes, "Hey, does anybody want to buy a Gibson?" And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And so this guy had this sitting next to
reaching for the pick.
Go ahead. Sitting next to his fireplace in his house for like 30 years.
Wow.
And I ended up purchasing it for just a few $100. It's a 1965 J45, and it's been stripped. It's been somebody put a pickup in it at some time, whatever, and it's been split, whatever. You know what? It's mine.
Were those
And
refretted with bigger frets, or was that what they came with in 65?
I don't know. This is what I brought home, and
These
so
are like bass frets. So light.
yeah.
Oh, Oh, it's so good.
I knock it around a little bit too. It's choked a little bit without the brand new strings on it. But it still sings.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you. See, and I get pleasure when great players come over and they play it, because I can't play it like that. But
It's gorgeous. Well, if we find any great players, I'll let you know.
okay, good. But Steve Cropper did play this one, so there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Actually, he said this was very much like the one he played on Dock of the Bay.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, Steve
So,
Cropper's a whole different.
That's a whole other beast
Yeah,
right
it's
there.
Amazing. Great guitar player, incredible songwriter.
Yeah. So let me walk you over here too, because there's a couple fun things happening here. So orange TH30 and a 112 down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Just rock and roll all the way across the board. Black Star head, which I use sparingly, but it's got a thing to it, and it has the the attenuated out, so I can just go straight in. I don't need a cabinet for it.
Oh, nice.
So that's really cool. It's 20 watts. It's great for, again, home recording and that sort of thing. So you can you don't have to crank up a cab.
What's this?
A friend of mine, she lost her grandfather, who was a tinkerer and a collector, and so they actually called like American Pickers to come through their stuff because they had so much stuff.
Wow.
And
Is it an episode?
No, and it's funny. It's like reality TV. It's so scripted because they act like they find things, but they didn't find it. You know, they know they know what's there before they get there.
Of course.
But anyhow, so she was like, "I've got this old radio thing. Do you want it?"
Yeah.
And I said, absolutely. So what this is, best of my knowledge, it's an old PA.
Right.
And so had a buddy look it over. We crank it up. We throw it through the 112. It's sick.
Yeah, I imagine.
It's sick. I mean, it's and we can plug it in if you
It's
want
unwell.
to plug it in. It is unwell. And we could honestly, I'd love for you to hear it. Next, we've turned on that power strip down there. That one, the B's a little squirrely on, so.
Nice. It's crazy sounding.
It's like nothing you'll ever hear. I mean, it's. And then when you hit it hard, it just. And I just keep it. I mean, it's dirty. So just keep it down.
Yeah, I love it. Beautiful. I love this guitar too.
Thank you.
I mean, it's Indonesian, so it's
Dude,
probably.
it's $200.
Was it come with these pickups?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool. So I love the world we're in now. when I was a kid, when we were kids, it's like $200 didn't buy you anything.
No.
It didn't buy you anything.
And you can get a really well-made playable guitar for that now.
The neck on this is gorgeous.
Thank you.
It's completely gorgeous. I like how dumb it is as well. Volume and
Sure.
pickup selector. which is about as much as I can handle.
I'm having a bass built now with no controls. And my friends are like, no volume? It's like, why? Just plug in and play.
Plus you have a pedal board, just do that.
Sure. Oh, there you go. You're making me misty.
Yes. Well, I knew if you grew up on jazz, you know all the standards.
Sure.
That was a chord melody version of "Here's That Rainy Day" before, so all the standards I know. I grew up. My father was all jazz and classical.
Okay.
Lots of classical, and then like the best jazz, like he just like the best, you know. So we had Coltrane and Ella Fitzgerald and Joe Pass, which was great for me as a guitar player.
Oh, sure.
Joe Pass and Django were the first guitar players I heard, so it was a nice start.
Wait.
And then
Good
my dad bought me Queen A Night at the Opera because he heard Bohemian Rhapsody and was like, you know, that's good enough. That's rock and roll, but that fits in, you know. So it's a nice way to kind of start.
Heck yeah.
It's great for our ears to grow up on jazz and classical.
That's why, yeah.
Especially classical for me now because I realize that I love big melody and great classical, you know, any Beethoven and stuff like that. The melodies are amazing. Yeah. You're like the ninth, you know.
I've only taken lessons twice in my life, and my first round of lessons, the guy wanted to teach me all classical.
Sure.
I just wanted to play Police songs.
Of course.
Don't teach me any of this stuff, and I quit.
Yeah.
And I look back now and I'm like, why did I quit?
Yeah.
You know, I mean. So.
But I get it. I my parents tried to give me classical guitar lessons, and I went to 2 lessons and just didn't play guitar for 5 years because of it. It's like I think however you get in is how you get in.
Yeah.
You know, if it's. I then picked up the guitar again at 15 and just obsessed because all my friends have been playing guitar since they were 11, and within 6 months I was better than them because I just wanted to practice and be.
Right.
You know, so I think that it's interesting having kids now. You want. I show my son something and he really likes it for 2 weeks and then he gives up. And I can't be upset about that because when it clicks with him, he's only 9. When something clicks with him, like he really likes robotics, so he's been learning robotics stuff. And it's just like, sure, you do that. It's his thing, you know.
Right.
If I start getting involved in it, he'll probably run away fast.
Our job, I think, as parents is to give them the entire salad bar.
Sure.
You know, and have that available to them, whether it be, you know, at whatever age, the cars, the math, the English, the music, you know, and music, especially since we're talking about it, is having it all available and let them, you know, do their thing. Because when you walk around with blinders on, you know, they're going to walk around with blinders on, you know, and our job is to get those little sparks happening, like you said, in their brain and get them going. And so that's, you know, what I'm trying to do. And all of our, you know, musician friends around here, and it seems like we're all having babies at the same time right now, like the next ones and all this. And again, you'll talk to Amos and Jackson, who are both pregnant.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it's insane. And we've got other friends. We went to dinner the other night. 3 ladies across the table, and Amos is having twins. So there were like 4 babies to be like at the table.
My sister had twins.
It's like the convention. But anyhow, so we're all in that same boat where we're all exposing them to as much as we can and letting them just kind of get to it. You know, I shied away from piano because my mom, you know, I liked it, but I just let it go. And then I went back to college and then I started a little bit more. And so, you know, and that's one thing I need to get back into because I
wish I'd taken piano lessons. I play piano, but I've worked it all out from being a guitar player. 1 3 5, you know. But
sure.
Yeah, not.
So I'm going to show you guys a little secret. I'll show you a secret.
Show me a secret.
Best $5 I've ever spent.
Best $5 he's ever spent. I like that.
Look at this.
Oh, shoe rack.
This is a shoe rack. Now, what do you do with all your effing pedals?
What a great idea.
They stack up and they make a mess and all this. I spent $5 and I hang them on my door. And look, I can see them. They're all right here. So nobody, you know, you're going to try and patent this. And I actually talked about like maybe selling something like this. But I'm like, why? Because you can buy it for $5.
No, it's a really good idea.
But cables on the bottom and power adapters, whatever. And then I bought a second one because I had too many pedals with different pockets. And then you can add some more stuff.
That's a really good idea.
So if you need to, so basically, you know, my approach, because I'm in a home studio.
And this is a small room, but I mean,
it is a small room, but
this is what everybody has.
It's what everybody has, and so I'm trying to make use of all the space, get great sounds out of here, and then at the same time be on top of my game. So
yeah, no, this is amazing. Yeah, it's a small room, but yeah, it's make every space work.
That's right. So if you're in New York City, just get one of these.
And what do you have in here? Just storage?
This is, yeah, it's a lot of storage. It's kind of a mess in there. But strings,
That's all right.
actually my safe room is in there. It's where we put the amps for ISO.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's got, you can come on back in.
I think it's more of a Connor job.
Yeah, it's a Connor job.
Sorry, Connor.
Again, at the inner circle, we've got, okay, so this keeps me humble. This is my one.
I'm just going to move this acoustic out.
Oh, sure. Move it to your car. This is my one magazine cover I've ever had. So I keep it in here to keep me humble. Yeah, we just throw the amps in here for ISO, close the door and go. There's also another storage space down here, and we can throw stuff in there as well. So that's where all the strings go.
Well, thanks a lot, mate. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much
wonderful.
for being here.
This is just like, I mean, how many square feet is this? Like 8?
One. It's like one. It's like.
Is it 8 by 8?
I think it's 8 by 10 maybe.
8 by 10,
Or 10 by 10 and an 8 foot,
like an 8 or 10 foot seat, 8 or 9 foot seat. It's just, it's basic. It's not a complete square box, which is good for standing waves. I see you broke up with a bass trap there.
I've got a bass trap there, and I've got some panels back here. I actually use a room corrector in my software, and so
Right.
that definitely helps.
Definitely.
Cut down the standing waves. And,
But this is like, I mean, this is probably like a guest room or child's bedroom
Office,
size.
small office, yeah.
Or a small office.
yeah, and
This is what the real world is.
sadly, we all wish we had our
I don't know about
our
sadly.
Warren setups, but you know
Yeah.
what? I can come down here anytime.
Yeah.
And throw on headphones and do whatever I need to do.
That's great.
And fortunately, I'm doing a lot, so that's a good thing.
Yeah,
so
that's amazing.
Yeah.
But this is real world. Plus, you're on Studio One, which is so many people that follow our channel are on Studio One these days.
I'm a fan. I mean, it's
great.
It's I can't say enough about it. I
Great.
really can't. I really can't.
Well, that's good. And I have I'm not going to say on camera who it is. I have a really famous songwriter producer guy in LA that's moving over to Studio One.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll tell you off camera in a minute. Only because
beautiful.
he's moving. He hasn't
Sure,
moved.
I understand. It's politics.
So thanks again.
Thanks for being
Appreciate
my
it.
home. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
So please leave some questions and comments below. Subscribe. Go to Produce Like a Pro and sign up for the email list. You get a whole bunch of free stuff. We are going to be doing a Pro Mix Academy episode with Steve. So check that out. Get on the email list and you're going to know more. Thank you ever so much for watching. Have a marvelous time recording and mixing.